These my dollars make it hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness. Oh my. Yeah. We're here again, everybody. Share. If you ever wanted to share a show today, y'all help your boy out and share. As we are here again live, it's Monday night at 7 p.m., which means, at least for me, it is time for the one and the only. This is the Big Time Show. I don't care nothing about the playoff game tonight. I'm just trying to tell you so you understand that. I could care less about the Rams and the Vikings. I mean, I was upset all weekend looking at the playoff games and wishing that we were there just to play. I mean, so I really ain't been too hype about the playoff games at all. So, you know, I don't really care about tonight. So I'm not a Ram fan and I'm not a Viking fan. I don't care what, unless the Cowboys were playing, I wouldn't be here. I had to move the show to another night or something like that. But, you know, for those that want to keep everybody informed of the game and the score, you're welcome to do so. So be it. We got something to talk about right quick, right? I learned a long time ago, y'all, especially over these last ever since Jerry Jones has been here. So that goes almost over 30 years now. That the Dallas Cowboys are the gift that just keeps on giving. It's all year around. It just never fails. And once again on today, I'm quite sure by now that everybody knows about the earth-shattering news today. Why do I say it's earth-shattering? Because you don't even have to wonder what's starting off all these sports shows now. You don't even have to wonder, right? For those who've been watching the TV, you already seen it. You know, the Cowboys take over. It's a playoff game. That's in the B part of everybody's show. Not podcasters, but ESPN Sports Center, everything. It don't start off with the playoff game tonight. It just don't start off with that. It starts off with, guess what? You know what? The Dallas Cowboys. I guarantee you tomorrow on First Take and whatever else they like to watch and Speak and all of those shows. I guarantee you, we all know what's going to lead it off, right? And you want to wonder why the Cowboys are America's team, because even the sports channels knows that if you want ratings, you talk about the Dallas Cowboys. It's been proven over and over again. And here we are again. As we all know, Coach Mike McCarthy is done. He is done. So I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it took this long, and I'm surprised of how the last week and a half, 2 weeks have went. I'm surprised. I'm totally surprised by, I'm surprised by how it could have been done weeks ago. It could have been done last week. It could have been done, it just could have been done. However, let me start it off this way. I got to tell y'all this, and let me speak before I really get on my rant. Well, it really won't be a rant, but whatever. Miss Ty, hey. Shane, what's up? Marcus, what's up? Mr. Greg, how you doing, sir? Jay, Brian, Tommy, what's going on, everybody? All of you that are on TikTok, how are you doing? I am missing something. What am I missing? I'm not on TikTok right now. Why is that? It shows it. It shows live, but it's not doing what it needs to do. It says I'm live, but I don't know. But anyway, appreciate you, everybody. Listen, let me say this. Hey, what's up, Jay Bird? How you doing, sir? Good to see you tonight. You know what we're talking about tonight. Everybody got to, all the brothers, my podcast brothers have already put everything out. Everybody's getting in. And of course, here I come. And I want to get this out real quick. Number one, to the fan base. Let me say this. You can't, I put it on my page earlier, but I'll start it off this way. You can't be two-faced in this situation. A lot of Cowboy fans wanted Mike McCarthy gone. Jerry gave you what you wanted. And then the first thing you want to say when it's done, why Jerry do it? I mean, come on now. Y'all can't have it both ways. You wanted them gone, which means it don't make no difference when, where, how, whatever. He's gone. You got what you wanted. Bam. Me personally, as I've said from previous shows, the only reason why I wanted to keep McCarthy is because I didn't like, a complete change. I didn't want that. I didn't, if you remember my show, I was saying, look, I don't want Dak to have to learn a whole new offense. It's just too much turnover. And, depending on who stays, or it's not about who stays. I don't know if you guys saw the report, but there was a report that came out that said Coach McCarthy texted the staff and told them that he would not be back. So what that means is nobody, I don't think, left from the staff at all. And maybe they were anticipating. Maybe him staying, and all kind of signs kind of start pointing that way. But here we are. We all knew what the deadline was. which would be tomorrow, the 14th, if he was not, if there was no negotiation made or deal made, he would have been done tomorrow anyway. We knew, if you got any type of common sense, that Jerry and Mike McCarthy had to have some type of conversations prior to this. How long, we don't know, but we just, it just wouldn't make sense to try to get it done tomorrow. It just wouldn't make sense. I brought my whistle here because I already knew on this show here, I already knew I was going to have some people that were going to do whatever. Like Dennis, I've never seen you before. Dennis Duker, whatever. I can't pronounce your last name, sir, so forgive me for not. I'm not going to even attempt it because I don't want to mispronounce your name. But for you to ask me, am I the coach? This whistle, sir, Mr. Dennis, is for violation. When there's a violation, like any type of question, this is what happened. And so, Mr. Dennis, for you asking me that question, violation. Don't ask me nothing like that no more. You know I'm not the coach. I'm just a podcast host with an opinion. That's all I am. So there you go. All right, there we go. I'll give you a little shine. I know Cowboy haters when I see them. So there you go. All right, so I don't want the gigantic turnaround for the offense and the defense. That's a lot, man. I'm sorry. You see how long it took for the players to grasp on the Mike Zimmer scheme. I'm just saying. I don't want that. That's me. I need Dak to be as comfortable as possible. Not saying that he cannot learn a new offense. God knows he has done that on more than one occasion. But I just didn't want that for him. And there's something that can happen that will minimize the gigantic turnaround, at least on offense. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Some of y'all want to blame Jerry for doing it today. I mean, like the deadline was tomorrow, so it was either going to be today or it was going to be tomorrow. This same situation would have happened. However, y'all, before y'all blame Jerry, if you've been reading and looking at what has happened today and listening to people like James Slater and Adam Scheffner and all the other people you may want to listen to and value, this wasn't Jerry firing Mike McCarthy. In one of my previous shows, maybe about 3 shows back or so, I said, well, I didn't say I said it on somebody's Twitter page, that Mike McCarthy is too structured of a man to be lingering in chaos. I told you guys that. That this, what we're doing now, this ain't quite the way Mike McCarthy is. He's a structured guy. He really is. He don't like that. He's too structured over his staff. You know, he's a guy that needs definite order, structure. And Jerry Jones, of course, is a man, especially lately these last 4 to 5 years, is an agent of chaos. I mean, he purposely makes chaos. And he's true to that. He's consistent with that. Mike McCarthy he's been consistently structured. So when it all said and done, those styles really don't mix together. So really, it's Mike that didn't agree with, there's too many people saying it, so I'm going to go with that. And then the credible sources, James Slater, who's there in that building, Adam Scheffner knows everything. We know that. All are saying, along with many others, are saying that the reason why this thing didn't happen was because Jerry and Mike couldn't agree on the contract length or the length of the contract, and which you can speculate all day how many years he was talking about, or the lack of years. And of course, it was going to be incentive based and all that stuff. And really, Mike needed some guarantees there. It wasn't about money. Jerry Jones is a multi-billionaire. I think $21 billion is his net worth. So, and remember that coaches are not on a salary cap. They're not a part of the salary cap. You can pay them as much as you want to. So a couple $1 million a year, 8, 9, 10, whatever $1 million a year to Jerry Jones, to a man that is a $21 billion man, that's a drop in a bucket for him. That ain't nothing. $10 million a year, 8, 9, that ain't nothing. Because the money is not the issue. McCarthy is too structured of a man. He wants some security, possibly for him and his staff. Couldn't come to an agreement. He's gone. Couldn't come to an agreement. He's gone. I don't think Jerry fired him. Not this time. I think this is all on Mike. Just something he can't deal with. So being that as it may, however the case, whether you say Jerry fired him or whether you say Mike left, whatever the case, the bottom line is he won't be here next year. He's done. I wouldn't be surprised, of course, because he is a good coach. Make no mistake about it. Mike McCarthy is a good coach. He had a very successful run here, depending on, of course, what your definition of success is. He leaves out with a pretty good winning record. This track record shows that if Dak Prescott is hurt, he's not going to win. But when Dak Prescott is there and serviceable, he's going to win double-digit games. The track record speaks for itself. It's just that simple. This year, I believe it's kind of unfair to really judge him completely when, of course, everybody was hurt. You can say that's an excuse. No, it's not. It's the truth. You can't run the race without the horses. You just can't. It's a difference between a starter and then you got practice squad guys playing and starting out there for you. It's a difference. Third string cornerbacks, practice squad cornerbacks. They're not Diggs. They're not Bland. This is what we had to deal with this year. All the injuries. Overshown, gone. DeMarcus Lawrence, gone. Dak Prescott, gone. Zach Martin, gone. I mean, you can't run the race without the horses. I'm just, it is. Everybody has an opinion, Marcus. I'm not going to argue with you. You say he's not a good coach. Hey, it is what it is. I ain't going to argue with you. You don't think he's good? That's your opinion, but I believe he's going to be good enough that he'll be coaching somewhere else next year if he wants it. I believe that he will coach. They'll think that he wants to coach. And I believe since everybody want to throw up the Saints and the Bears, I really believe that he is a tremendous candidate for that job. I do. And trust me, there will be teams that will be interviewing him. Don't know if they're going to hire him, but I believe he's going to get some interviews for the job. And he just might be the best candidate left that's out there. All right. So it is what it is. Now, let's get to, because I'm done. I wanted him to stay, but I figured he would leave. I just thought, I'm thinking I wanted Dak to come in full guns loaded and blaze and just pick up and go to work. Already knows the offense, all that. I wanted Zimmer to get a good shot with everybody there. And I don't know if Zimmer is gone or not, to be honest with you. Just because Mike McCarthy texts his staff, that doesn't mean that Jerry going to text him either. It could mean Jerry might decide to keep some of these guys. Al Harris comes to mind. Zimmer comes to mind. All of these people. Some people may stay. Then again, maybe not. It's not like it will be a surprise for whoever the new head coach is, for Jerry to force some coaches on him. He did that with Moore when McCarthy got here. See what I'm saying? So it's not like Jerry won't force a coach on you. So let me say it like this, y'all. We're at a very critical point in this organization's history. Because I'm going to tell you something. Jerry Jones is a very dangerous man to this organization. Okay? It's really hard to see it. Chris, I understand, but I think I explained this for more. Just look at the chat. Open up the chat on YouTube. You'll be able to see everything. You just have to read it that way. Matter of fact, everybody hit the like button for me. How about that? I'm sorry. Everybody hit that like button. Hit that heart button for me, if you will. Totally forgot about that, but I just got it. There you go. We're at a dangerous point because this is me. This may not be you. I'm starting to question Jerry's sanity. And the sad part is I really do believe that his children, who will eventually take over this organization at some point, I really believe his children, there's no way that the children agree with the way this organization is being ran right now. I just believe that. That's just me. I have no proof of saying that. The only proof I have is that if you ever listen to Jerry do his interviews, Steven comes right behind him and tries to, and please, let's not run with this, but please listen to me good. I'm trying to give you an example. I'm not trying to make this political, okay? So please don't start that. I understand a lot of people here voted for President Trump, and then I already know a lot of people voted for Vice President Harris. I understand that. I'm not trying to make it political. I'm trying to give an example. But whenever President Trump, and this is history since he's been president, and I'm comparing it to Jerry, y'all. Whenever President Trump gets a live microphone, that there's not a speech in front of him where he can read it, or somebody else has written his speech, as all speech writers do for every president. When the President Trump gets a live microphone, look out. Because you have to listen to him, because the very next day, what you will have is a whole bunch of people they will support him, and they will try to cover up what he said or what they think he said. And that's what you roll, where you get more polished people there to cover up and try to make it seem like he said something else when President Trump actually said what he meant. I feel the same way about Stephen Jones and Jerry. If you ever listen to Jerry, you know he shoots off at the mouth. And then Stephen comes behind him and cleans up what Jerry has said. He does that. He's done it all the time. So if you got to keep cleaning up, that means Stephen probably saying this in the background while his dad is talking. He probably saying, oh my God. Y'all give me this tape so I can rewind it so I can listen, because I know they're going to ask me about this. Oh my God. You know it's got to be that way. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm starting to wonder if Jerry I'm questioning just about everything he does now. I'm not questioning this one. But if we'll never know, because they'll never tell us. But if you're offering Mike McCarthy just 2 year deal, that's not sane. You don't offer a coach a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal. I really believe that every coach just about get at least minimum 4 or a 1-year deal. I mean, I'm really for Mike to leave like this. And everybody was talking about the length of the contract. We know that it was something off there. And if you listen to Jerry, you know, Jerry's the type that let your whole coaching staff coach on 1-year deals. Everybody. 1-year deals. Some of the players on one, a lot of the players were on 1-year deals. I mean, there was just a 1-year deal everywhere. Coaches, players. I mean, what kind of owner does that? What kind of sense do that make? Exactly. I just don't. He just didn't do it with the coaches. He's done it with some of the players. So I'm starting to question his decision making. Now I realize Steven got something to do with this too, but there's just no way in the world that Steven and Charlotte and Jerry Jr. It's just no way in the world they got to be agreeing with all of this. And if they are, Lord have mercy, we're going to be in trouble for the next 25, 30 years. I'm starting to wonder. If you saw Jerry's response today, it'll make you wonder. Does he have it all there? Now, we talking about an 82-year-old man. You know, I'm starting to wonder, because as a Cowboy fan, myself, who's been a Cowboy fan since 1977, I've been 4 years old at the time, but I remember vividly the Super Bowl. We won in 77, but I remember the very next year when we played the Steelers and Jackie Smith dropped that ball in the end zone from Staubach, and my daddy hollered and threw something against the wall, and me wanted to be like my daddy. You know, I had a little basketball. I threw something too, and he knew, and I had to stop it. So the love, it generated from my father, but as the years kept going by, it got into me. So as a fan for this long, and have seen Jerry Jones since the beginning, he ain't operating the same way that he did in 89, 90, 91, 92, 90, even in the late 90s. Forget the Super Bowls. Even in the late 90s. The way that he picks coaches, incredibly questionable. Your main characteristic is, can you deal with my stuff? Can you deal with me being the forefront? Can you deal with me being the star? Can you deal with me saying one thing while the head coach thinks the other? This is what you got to deal with as far as your new head coach. We all know what Jerry likes: puppets. So ain't nothing changed, y'all. I know I've seen some of y'all type in names. You don't think like you want to think. I need y'all to start thinking like Jerry thinks, so y'all won't be so disappointed when you hear who the next coach gonna be. All these superstar coaches y'all naming right now, forget it. Forget it. No one will outshine Jerry Jones. The people that did outshine him, he got rid of them. He fired a man that won 2 straight Super Bowls, Jimmy Johns. He fired him. You know good and well you don't supposed to fire a man that just won 2 straight Super Bowls. That ought to show you right there what time it is. Parcells was too strong for him. Too strong of a personality. He don't like those type of coaches. This has been consistent ever since Jimmy Johnson. So I don't know why some of y'all, I'm about to get to it. I'm not, I've been telling y'all, it's not going to happen. His main criteria is, you coach the game, you let me be the star. I'll make the decisions for you. You will have input, but I'll make the call on who you gonna be. I'll make the call on who some of your coaches are gonna be. I know you done piled up a staff, but I control this. If you want to, you may have a great defensive coordinator, but I love Mike Zimmer. I'm just throwing that up as an example. The truth of the matter is, when Mike McCarthy, I don't care what Mike McCarthy say, I don't care what Jerry say. When Mike McCarthy got hired here, Mike McCarthy wanted to call plays. That's why he got rid of Kellen Moore later on. That's why he started calling plays last season. It wasn't because Kellen Moore wasn't producing. Shoot, Kellen Moore had the number one offense in the league for years. If he wasn't number one, he was top 2 or 3. It wasn't like Kellen Moore's offensive coordinator game calling was horrible. We complained about the red zone. That's what I complained about. I complained about Kellen Moore not wanting to run the ball. And he didn't run the ball enough. But make no mistake about it, he got Dak Prescott cooking. Oh, ain't no doubt about that. Amari Cooper would tell you, I love him. C.D. Lamb, his rookie year, would tell you, I love him. Michael Gallup would say, I love Kellen Moore. Why? Because they produce. That's how they got their big paychecks. You see what I'm saying? But Mike didn't like that. And then Mike come to do the same thing. Questionable red zone calls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm telling you, your criteria for number one criteria is you just coach. You let me be me. Don't come in here demanding nothing. Don't come in commanding that you want to be the final say in picking your players. You don't get to pick the groceries in Dallas. That's Jerry. That's Steven. That's Will McClay. We'll get the groceries. You make the meal. Now, if you can deal with that, welcome to the Dallas Cowboys. And welcome head coach. Welcome to our new head coach. If you can deal with that stuff there, then you are a tremendous candidate for the Dallas Cowboys. It's just the truth, y'all. I mean, we know this. We ain't no sense of trying to get new. So on that note, let's go through some of these names y'all keep throwing up. Ben Johnson, no. He wants power. You ain't getting no power in Dallas. We know that. Scratch him out. I know some of y'all want him. Some of y'all are saying Mike Zimmer as the coach. Good hire. Oh, also a criteria to Cowboys. You had to be in the family. You just about almost had to be in the family. Former player, you played in Dallas, you was an assistant coach at Dallas. The outsiders, and Mike McCarthy was an outsider. It's just a little strange. Look at who we've had. Jason Garrett, player for the Cowboys. Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. Played for the Cowboys. I mean, come on, y'all. That's what Jerry usually go gets. Mike McCarthy, outsider looking in, it worked. He rebuilt the culture of winning. We ain't been to the playoffs 3 years in a row. In so long, I can't even tell you when the last time. Jerry has been consistent in times like this. So since that is the case, at least from what he's shown us, then here we go with some of the names. Mike Zimmer, he's been in the family. The Jones family likes him. He's a tremendous football coach, tremendous defensive coordinator. And if he takes the job, he'll still be our defensive coordinator. The question is, if Mike Zimmer's your coach, then who's the offensive coordinator? That's my only question. Plus, the league has changed a little bit. Well, not a little bit. They changed a lot. Whoever your offensive coordinator is need to be young and innovative. In other words, something like the Kyle Shanahan, something like the coach in Green Bay, something like Ben Johnson, something like Kellen Moore, something like the guy over there in Buffalo. That young, innovative as an offensive coordinator. Somebody that can keep up with the due times. Y'all understand what I'm saying? This is just my opinion. This you can't, you can't come in with the old time way. You got to be able to, be innovative with this thing. Okay? So I think Zimmer would be a fine candidate. Do I want him as coach? I just got to see who else is in the running. I wouldn't mind Zimmer there. I wouldn't. I know I'm going to have a good defense. All right, number 2. Who else y'all done called out that don't make any sense at all? Aaron Glenn, somebody said. I hate to say this, Regina, and I appreciate you, Regina, for showing up. And Matt Thompson, I'm going to bring you in on this too. This is where Regina said this. Aaron Glenn, great coach. Matt says, prime time. Okay? Let me say this, and y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. And I'm just going to put it out there. Everybody excited about Al Harris. I don't even know if he here or not. I don't know. Let me tell y'all. Jerry Jones will never hire a black man to be the head coach of America's team. Y'all figure that out. And please, I look, y'all can say what y'all want to say. I don't care tonight. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Please don't make me go to the. Don't let me go to the track record of Jerry and supposed racial type stuff. I just start with the picture in Arkansas when the black folks were trying to give in school. We'll just start there. I got plenty more, but I just stopped there. Okay? So it just don't work. This guy's an oil man. This guy's a Texan, Arkansas Texan who grew up in an era. Hello. He grew up in an era that wasn't nice for black people. Let me just say it like that. Okay? I might as well do it since I'm doing it. Let's not forget how Jerry responded to the taking a knee. Even though he really didn't want to do it, but he knows ratings. He got on the knee, and then before that he had said, anybody, keep in mind, majority of teams, the members of the team are black men. What is it? Everybody put the percentage down. It's about at least 85 maybe percent African American. Got to be. What did he say? Because it was an issue when my guy got killed there, with the man, the policeman put the knee on his neck, and everybody was outraged because the video spoke for itself. And Jerry know it was low down and raggedy, but his what he really feel, he can't do that. Okay. He can't just come out and say, well, I don't like black people. He can't do that. His whole team is just about as black. The whole league just about as black as a whole. And during this time, you get out of line with racial stuff, you're going to pay a serious price. Donald Sterling in the NBA lost his whole team. You get the real powers that be in the NFL players and say, we don't want Jerry Jones in this league. I don't care what you say. What happened to just prove my point? Do y'all remember when Cam Newton, what the owner said about him? You remember he lost his team in Carolina? Y'all remember that? Well, one owner got to go. Any owner can go. I don't care how influential Jerry Jones is. If the players get together and say we want him out this league. So Jerry couldn't do that. But however, do you remember what he said? Anybody that doesn't have the toe on the line when the national anthem is played will not be a Dallas Cowboy. Considering the fact you got black men there that's hurt, and you told them that before you took your knee, you threatened them. If I was the team, I would have called his bluff. But you know everybody ain't gonna do that because they got families to feed, et cetera, et cetera. But this is what he said, because he knew the black folks were gonna do something in protest. They knew that. Okay. So I questioned the purity, and somebody gonna come in and say he loves Michael Irvin, he loves Emmitt Smith, he loves DeMarcus Ware, he loves this, he loves that. Yeah, well, look what did they do for him? They put more money. They put money in that main pocket. He got banners in the stadium. He got banners in the stadium because of those guys. Emmitt, Eric Williams, the line that they had, Charles Haley, those guys. Of course he loved them. Look what he put 3 rings on the finger. They're the reason why he made it to the Hall of Fame. Of course he loves them, but it's about what you can do for me. And don't get hung up on that because he loves Emmitt and he's helped Deion. He loved Deion. I'm not saying that, but when the real thing happened, with the brother that died there right on the street with the policeman knee in his neck, all that time. When the real time came, guess what? He showed you who he was. The real him came out. Based off that, y'all can take for what it's worth. You don't have to side with me. It's just me. He will never hire a black man to be a head coach. So on that note, Aaron Glenn, no. Deion Sanders, no. Somebody said Steve Sarkisian, the head coach of Texas. No. Why? Why wouldn't he hire him? And he's not black. His wife is black. Nah. Can you imagine that press conference? You get up there and his wife is black. Just in case you don't know, Steve Sarkisian, I believe I can pronounce his name right, is married to an African American woman, and I believe she is pregnant right now. That man don't want to have that black woman sitting up there on that front stage like that as the wife of the head coach of America's team. Are you crazy? So no, any black candidate. Now, at the same time, there is a color that Jerry loves more than anything. That's green. Which your pushback ought to be Deion Sanders then. Because no question, if you hire Deion Sanders with the Dallas Cowboys, good Lord, the marketing is just God almighty. Can you imagine the headlines? Deion Sanders as the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? Oh my God. You think we on TV now? Shoot, they'll be following us to the locker room. Have a whole TV show about the locker room. Deion here. However, remember my qualifications. Nobody will outshine Jerry Jones. And Deion Sanders would outshine anybody in the whole organization. It makes no difference. Deion Sanders is just that type of dude, okay? So forget that. It's just not going to happen. Black man will never coach the Cowboys until Jerry leaves. That's just my view. I believe with all my heart. And that even goes for us folks that say, you know, Al Harris would be a great coach. Please. A man with dreadlocks. a man with dreadlocks and black as I am would be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So if you're saying Al Harris, no. And I love him all, but y'all, we talking Jerry Jones. We talking Jerry Jones, y'all. And you got to tell the truth. It is what it is. So any black head coach y'all put down, eliminate them. Eliminate that. Now, here's the other names then. We done some of y'all putting in here now and all of that. Somebody said about John Gruden, and this is my cousin too. I think this is my cousin. Hey, Dre. My cousin is here in Atlanta. Dre, my cousin says John Gruden. And there you go right there. Ladies and gentlemen, birds of a feather flock together. I've heard them say that John Gruden is a friend of Jerry Jones. But y'all need to go back. Well, John got caught on the tape and all that type of stuff. And guess what? He got fired right there. The players didn't want to play with him no more. And I believe it was the Raiders. Got him out of there. So you can't be openly racist now. You can't. John Gruden got caught saying, bad words about black folks and the N-word and all that. And they got him on out of there. Players wouldn't want to play for a coach like that. And then as black people, let me try to, Lord have mercy. I'm trying to talk and make it not seem like I'm racist, which I'm not. But to black people, let me educate all my people that are not black on here. Unfortunately, in the area of racism, we are not like Jesus. Jesus forgives, and the Bible proves that he forgets as well. Black people forgive, but they don't forget. So once you show black people any signs or any form of racism, it's kind of like saving it to a computer. And the trust level is not there. So in the area of John Gruden, what he said on there, y'all had to go back and pull it up and look for yourselves. Nah. Now Jerry might like him, and Jerry might hire him. But how is Jerry? How can you imagine the first meeting with the team? I mean, Gruden would have, and let me say this. Gruden, to me, is a great coach. He's an attitude coach that we need. He's a tough coach, is what we need. He don't mind getting into somebody's butt, which is what we need. I like John Gruden as a coach. But I lost respect for John Gruden once I heard what I heard. And that's the reason why he ain't been back since coaching. Now, Jerry might like him. Jerry may offer him a job. But can you imagine him walking into the Dallas Cowboy room as head coach and on the first day, and you got the players looking at him like, God dang, I just can't. Because if you think all black people, if John Gruden was there and all black people gonna be on one page with this, you crazy. It's gonna be something gonna be like, man, the first time he say something to me, I'm gonna fire him. I wish he would call me that. I'm gonna whoop him right there on that star. I'm telling y'all. I hate to leave. I'm gonna get out the way. I might need to do it because I feel like I'm getting in trouble tonight. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Who else y'all call out? Let me get off Gruden. But I don't know. Because the press will ask those questions. I guarantee that. The press the press will be coming at them. And you're gonna have to answer. Because nobody ain't talked to you since you got fired from, was that the right or wherever you was at last? Who else y'all said? And I know who y'all come to. I'm gonna save him to the end. Okay. Schottenheimer. I think Regina said. No, because it was put out today that Schottenheimer is like a nephew to Mike McCarthy. He goes wherever he's at. They came up under his father, Marty Schottenheimer. So did McCarthy, of course. And they love, they like each other. So I really believe that wherever Mike McCarthy goes, Schottenheimer will be with him. So I don't think that will happen. Not as head coach, especially. I don't think that wouldn't be good. Jason Witten. Love him. Love Jason Witten as a player. A no doubt Hall of Fame player, tight end. He will be in the Hall of Fame. So in my view, he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Former Man of the Year. All that type of stuff. NFL Man of the Year. Great human being. Great player. Great player for this organization. He will be in the Ring of Honor eventually, soon. Great player. Has won 2 straight state championships in Texas. Back to back. And on the high school level. Knows the game. No doubt about that. Knows the game. Knows what it takes. Been around in the NFL locker room for a long time. Knows the ins and outs. Knows what it's supposed to look like. But I think that's too big of a jump to go from high school coach to straight up NFL coach. I'm quite sure Jason would be very relatable to the players. No question about that. But I don't think he's ready to be a head coach. Not yet. I would like him. I would like him on the staff. I would. I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him being on whoever the coach is. I wouldn't mind Jason being on the staff. I wouldn't mind, but not head coach. And everybody, Dan Campbell did. Well, that don't mean Jason gonna be there. I believe Jason know what he doing. I ain't questioning that. I know he know the game. And he's a champion. He won 2 straight state championships in the state of Texas. And we all know how Texas football is on the high school level. It's like college ball all over again. See what I'm saying? So I don't think he's ready to be a head coach. I wouldn't mind making him, bring him up to be a tight ends coach. You couldn't find a better tight ends coach in the league. You bring Jason to the guy, I wouldn't mind that at all. But not head coach. Somebody said Rex Ryan. I believe the defense would be electrifying if Rex Ryan was here. He did carry the Jets with Mark Sanchez as a quarterback to 2 AFC championship games. He was the defensive coordinator for a lot of Ray Lewis, Baltimore Ravens defenses. He was the coordinator. We all know Baltimore defense was always, some bad boys. He's got a lot of bravado, but he would fit into the category of Deion Sanders to me. He'll be too big of a star. And he got too much machoism to follow Jerry Jones. Rex would be the type to tell Jerry, no, this is my defense. You don't know nothing about my defense. I run a 46 defense like my daddy. I run multiple defenses. You don't know nothing about it. I know what to do. My track record shows I know what to do. I don't need you telling me anything about my defense, Jerry. That's the kind of guy Rex is. Jerry wouldn't like that, and y'all know that. So, no to Rex Ryan. I like him as a coach. I do. Which leaves, and let me just go on skip over the field here, which leaves Kellen Moore. If you've been with me, I said it. I was pretty much the first one to say it. I was on Lou's Take show with West Coast Cowboy. With West Coast. And I stated my case and then blew both of them away. Go back on my page. You got to go back at least about, maybe about 6 weeks ago. And I said, it makes, listen to me. I ain't saying me, but I'm saying this. Listen right here. Don't shoot me. Think like Jerry Jones, please. Not like you. Think like Jerry Jones. Kellen Moore makes it Jerry Jones sense. It makes Dak Prescott sense. It makes CeeDee Lamb sense. And it makes Dallas Cowboys sense as a whole. But Coach Breedlove, I love you, man. When you came in late, I just sum it up like this, Coach. Jerry Jones is not hiring a black man as a head coach in Dallas. Now, you know that. You know that, Coach. And I understand. I'm just saying, if you were to line up everybody, and I got a wild card, ain't nobody said this. Y'all gonna hear it first. And I know you ain't gonna like it. And I know you're gonna say I'm crazy, but just hear me out. Kellen Moore fixed all the boxes of a Jerry Jones type head coach. Number one, he ain't gonna come in demanding. Kellen Moore knows how this organization is ran. He knows who runs the show. He's not gonna challenge that. He'll be a puppet. But that puppet there knows how to run offense. As I stated before, you can't deny it. Yes, he got questionable red zone calls, but at the end of the day, Kellen Moore had no less than the number 3 offense in the league. Most of the time, it was number 1. Those are facts. You can't dispute that. Dak Prescott flourished under Kellen Moore. That can't be disputed. Okay? He's young. He's innovative. What was our main thing with Kellen Moore? Red zone play calling. And, of course, he did not run the ball enough. Kellen Moore has killed that narrative. All you got to do is go look at Philadelphia. You can't say you don't run the ball now, do we? Got a running back that ran for over 2,000 yards this year. Oh, he runs the ball. You just got to give him the weapon for the run. If you give him the weapon, he'll run it. That's been proven. He got A.J. on one end and Devontae Smith on the other end, and you got A.J. crying like a little baby now because he's not getting the ball enough. The reason why he's not getting the ball enough is because Kellen Moore knows I better feed this running back. So we can't say he don't run the ball. Can't say that. Young and innovative. When Kellen Moore was here, here's another fact. Now I understand what y'all saying. I ain't say I wanted him. I'm just saying it make Cowboy sense. Jerry Jones mindset, of course. It makes Cowboy sense, according to Jerry Jones. I agree with a whole lot of y'all in the chat. To us, no, we gonna need to go another route. But to Jerry Jones, it make Cowboy sense, y'all. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. According to his qualifications that we've seen over the last years, these yes boys and won't give you no problem, just coach. With Kellen Moore, Coach Bree Love, I'm going to tell you one more time. I already went over Deion. Jerry Jones don't want no guy that's going to outshine him. And you know that, Coach. Deion Sanders will outshine everybody. The cheerleaders, the concession stand workers, the players, the owner, Stephen Jones. Deion is too headstrong. He will destroy a lot of the stuff that Jerry Jones says. He's going to say some things that would be opposite of Jerry Jones. And, you know, they're going to be, it'll be before you know it, it'll be a little war there. No way. Would I love it? Yes, I would love it, Deion to come. But that's not going to happen. Let me say this. Let me say this. When Kellen Moore was here, another fact, and I understand what some of y'all gonna say, but we was averaging right at 30 points a game, right? Well, am I right about that? For years. I mean, it wasn't no question about can the Cowboys score? We were scoring. The only question was when we get inside the 20-yard line, it slowed us down. But from the 20 to the other team's 20, we were scoring. You look at what he's doing in Philadelphia right now. We talking about a team that got a shot at going to the Super Bowl this year under Kellen Moore. I'm just saying that to us, to us. No, we say been there, done that. He frees up in big games and all that kind of stuff. But let's just make sure we pay attention to Philly this year. And if they lose, is it really a who are they playing? Who's Philly playing? Let me see. Washington is going to Detroit. Oh, the winner of tonight comes to Philly. So let's see who we got. Okay, Pete Carroll, Williams says, great candidate. But here's my question to you on that, William. How long? He's over 70 years old, I guess. I don't know. He's still vibrant and all that. There's nothing really wrong with that. I'm just saying Pete Carroll is a great coach. He should be in the Hall of Fame as well. And I know he has a desire to coach. That's a good one. But the question is, how long would he really want to coach? You have to ask that question when you got a guy that old. Or an older coach. That's my only question about Pete Carroll. Don't have to question can he coach? We all know he coach. He brings toughness too. No, Coach Bree Love, we got a lot of stuff we can go with. My only thing is this, man. We need to have something in place before these college all-star games go on. The Hula Bowl, the East-West Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl. We need to have things in place because the head coach, especially if he's a coordinator, but even if he's not a coordinator, defensive or offensive, if he has other coordinators to come with him, the scouting department needs to know, okay, what kind of player do you like to run for your system? We don't need to be going to the Hula Bowl, Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine Bowl, and the only three people there are Will McClay, Stephen Jones, and Jerry Jones. You don't know what system we're going to be running. You just don't know. Kellen Moore, if the first thing I just said about Dak, I don't want to change. Well, if you bring Kellen Moore in, I believe Kellen Moore and Dak will pick right back up from where they left off. It ain't too much of a change from Mike McCarthy's offense. They kept a lot of the stuff in. The language may change just a little bit to go back. I'm just saying, man, you ain't got to start over again. Not completely over. because a lot of the guys on the team, on the offense, are already familiar with Kellen Moore's system. I'm just saying. Now, you want some wild cards? Let's throw this in. Lincoln Riley from USC, who they love. We talked about him the last couple of years when Mike McCarthy, before he got hired. A lot of people were saying Lincoln Riley. Y'all forgot about that. USC ain't going nowhere. Playing in what conference they playing? USC and Oklahoma are in the SEC. Am I right? No, let me see. No, USC is not in the SEC. They're in the Big Ten. Not Oklahoma. What conference is USC in, y'all? It's not the Pac-12, and they're not in the Pac-12. They moved out. Is it the SEC? I think I'm right. Oklahoma's in the SEC, and then USC moved. Excuse me, I'm thinking. Big 12 conference. You're right. Big 12. You're right, Coach. SC got a shot at winning the Big 12. They got a good chance. They recruit well. They got a good shot. So I'll take that back. But we were high on Lincoln Riley. A lot of people wanted him because he's innovative. He's young. He can score. But everything that with him was that USC couldn't stop a nosebleed defensively. They couldn't stop nothing. But he could score 50. Problem is the other team scored 51. So on that note, that's why I can see Jerry stepping in and say, okay, Coach, you got the offense and all that, but you're going to keep Mike Zimmer as your defensive coordinator. You bring Lincoln Riley in, as great of an offensive coach as he is, and he is that, and you keep Mike Zimmer, I would say, let's go play football. I would. Write your question in, G-Ball, now. I say let's play football. If you tell me Lincoln Riley is my coach, head coach, offensive coordinator, and you tell me, somebody typing in, Kid Cowboys say USC is not in the Big 12. What conference? I'll tell you. Get that. They are in the Big Ten. They're in the Big Ten conference. They ain't gonna win the Big Ten. Ohio State or Michigan or Penn State is going. USC gonna be good, but I just can't see them do it. Kid Cowboy, you right. A new head coach brings in his staff, except in Dallas. How you think Kellen Moore stayed as everybody else got fired? Jerry said Kellen Moore stays on his staff. Mike McCarthy didn't pick him. He was forced on him. So not there. No, G-Ball. We keeping Parsons. I don't know, Coach Breedlove. You know what I'm saying? Riley, he got all type of variations, and that's just the way he coached, but nobody really ain't stopped him offensively, even in college. I mean, at Oklahoma, at USC, and he's produced great quarterbacks out here. I mean, he's a quarterback type of coach. The kid from Chicago, he came from Heisman Trophy winner, came from Lincoln Riley. Jalen Hurts, Lincoln Riley, Kyler Murray, another Heisman Trophy winner. Came from, yeah, you got it, Lincoln Riley. And plus, here's another main criteria, y'all. Whoever is the head coach, one of the first questions that should be asked is this: who is going to make my quarterback better? I just paid him $240 million. He's getting paid $60 million a year. Who's going to make him better? You got to get a guy that knows how to work with a quarterback, or find a quarterback coach, or going to bring a quarterback coach, or bring an offensive coordinator that is proven and is going to make my quarterback better. We done invested too much money in him. He can't go lower. He can't stay the same. He has to get better. And Lincoln Riley would make him better. I ain't got no question about that. I know, Coach. I seen it, but it's the same index card as you said for years. Ain't nobody stopping. Nobody. I mean, he's been scoring a lot of points over the years. That's the only thing I'm saying. I think I'm just giving you names. That's all I'm saying. I know we was high on Lincoln Riley. Tommy, you beat me to the punch. I'm going to say it right here. Jerry loves a splash. And since Tommy did it, I'm going to go on, just skip over the field a little bit. Sometimes you got to go against the grain if you really want it bad enough. And I'm not sure where he is, but this coach I'm going to show you, I still believe there's fire in there. I believe still fire in the tank. It's just college football just changed it on him and he had to leave. I still believe Nick Saban. I still believe he want to coach. Now, I may think I'm crazy, but if I'm Jerry Jones, man, I'm making that call just to find out where his head is. And ask him, Coach, do you still want to coach? I would ask him. And ladies and gentlemen, with a Nick Saban in the building, you get a lot of, if you saying Pete Carroll, then I can say Nick Saban. And Nick Saban would check a lot of boxes that y'all been talking about. See, Jerry, if Jerry really want to win the Super Bowl, desperate times call for desperate measures. And I know what I said. He need a yes man. Jerry want to be in control and all that kind of, I'm just saying. I Coach, I just threw it out. I'm just throwing it out. That's all. If he came out there tomorrow, and I know it ain't gonna happen, but I'm saying if he came out there, nobody will be mad if he said the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is Nick Saban, because you know what he brings to the table. That's all I'm saying. All right, I'm done. Let me see if I can get this right, because see, I know a lot of y'all, but personally speaking, out of all the people that y'all name, the one that makes most sense to me is two. It's either Zimmer. Oh, I know it ain't gonna be Saban. Great. I just threw it out there. It's either gonna be Zimmer or they're gonna make a real push at Kellen Moore. And if I was to throw a wild card in, I would say maybe a Lincoln Riley. But whoever it's going to be, they got to get it done real quick because all of this stuff is getting ready to happen. You need a staff when you go on scouting. When you're scouting, you need your staff to be there. Right now, we ain't got nothing. We got Jerry Stevens and Will McClay. The only one that looks at tape, notice the tendencies of a player, he knows exactly what to be looking for. Then that's only Will McClay. Jerry don't know what to be looking at they don't know that. Coach Breedlove. Wow. I love the way you trying, Coach, but I'm gonna have to tell you one more time. Two things. Jared don't want no star that's gonna outshine him. And then number two, Jared Jones will never hire a black man as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know, Coach, why you keep trying to go that route, but we need a Mike Tomlin type. I'll say that. We need a Mike Tomlin type. Proven winner. Keeps his team in the playoffs. He just hadn't won a Super Bowl in a while, but the Steelers are always in the playoffs. He's a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He is a Hall of Fame coach. Mike Tomlin is. But Jerry ain't turning them keys over to no black man, Doc. The perfect type coach. He's a great coach. Anywhere else, any other team would love to have him. I told you to stop thinking like you though, Coach. Coach Breedlove. And look, Coach Breedlove been with me for a while. Great supporter of the show. I never correct him. I listen to him. And Coach Marv, I listen to those guys. But in this case here, Coach, I need you to listen to me. He ain't hiring no black man. I'm just telling you. Now, his type, no. Tommy, it's the same thing, Doc. You say Tony Dungy. Look, stop it. We ain't doing that. Shane says, what if Jerry hires Witten as coach and the OC will be Tony Romo? Okay, Shane, here we go. I don't want no remnants of Jason Garrett on this. See, we're at a critical point, man. We don't need to. I don't want no remnants of Jason Garrett. Unfortunately, Jason Witten, as much as I said, I wouldn't mind Jason Witten as a tight ends coach. And you say the OC will be Tony Romo. Nah. And Tony knows the game. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, all you got to do is listen to him as he commentates. Tony knows the game, can see it. I mean, he's looking at the same screen we looking at. And he can tell you he reading the defense before the hike. I mean, he knows the game. Tony put points on the board. Urban Meyer, somebody said. Josh McCown, William, may get an interview. Man, if we hire Josh McCown, a lot of folks gonna turn in their Cowboy jerseys. Please. No, sir. It's too critical now. It's too critical. We don't have time for, I say a young innovator, but we don't need a novice. We don't need a beginning coach. We don't need that. We need Chris Johnson. I believe you lying on that one, Chris. You got to give me the source. He says Coach Prime is interviewing and in talks with Jared Jobs. That's why I know it ain't true. You said Jared Jobs. I know you meant to put an E in there, but I believe it when I see it. He might make a phone call, but Deion would want his personality speaks control. Deion will want some control. He has full control at Colorado. He don't want to come in and just be a puppet. Deion is not a puppet. Deion will want to have some, exactly. Deion will want some power, And Chris, Deion is black. I'm going to say it one more time. He ain't hiring a black man. Chris, I believe it. I look. If it's there, I'll see it. I believe Deion. Oh, you say you're looking at ESPN right now. I believe it when I see it. I would love it. I ain't even get hype about it. Oh, you say you're looking at ESPN right now to leave. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe it. I don't think you got to worry about it. It be, being sure about him, G-Ball. I don't see that. I'm serious about them, y'all. I don't see a black man. I don't care how great he is. I don't know, Chris. They say you lying. I don't know. I don't know. When I get off, I'm gonna search for it. I don't know who Jordan Schultz is either. I don't know who he is. Is he a writer or what? Does he work? Who does he work for? Now let me say, I wouldn't be surprised, however, if Jerry, because remember now, exactly, the Rooney Rule, you got to interview a black man. And usually that'll probably be Al Harris or somebody if he's still there. You got to be on record saying you did interview a black man. Deion fits that category for sure. I don't see Jerry sharing the spotlight. I would too, Matt. That's a culture changer. And he would get instant respect from the day he walked in that first meeting with the players. I mean, it makes sense. I'm just going off what I think about Jerry Jones individually as a person. I just don't see him. I just don't. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And Jerry and Deion will want a lot of input on what kind of players he would need. That's the kind of power Deion want. I got to have some say-so over some of these players now. That's the media press questioning G-Ball whether Tomlin is gone or not. Pittsburgh hadn't said absolutely nothing about Tomlin leaving or need a new voice and all that type of stuff. And, the media will start stuff and people run with it and they act like that's what's going on. That's not what's going on. Just like me putting it out here saying Jerry don't believe in no black man coaching. It's just my opinion. I got you, Chris. You say he's a Fox Sports analyst. Okay. I got you. Trust me, I'm going to look for it. That would energize a Deion Sanders. It just makes too much sense. It would energize this place immediately. You have you and I, because I would do it. You and I will be looking. We already seen who we playing next year. I would be getting my money together to go to at least 2 Cowboy games, maybe 3. I would love to be at the first home. If Deion Sanders is there, I would be getting my money together now, getting ready to purchase at least 3 home games. I'm just telling you. I mean, I would go completely cuckoo. I pull my Deion Sanders jersey out, which I got in my closet now. It makes money marketing sense. It would be bigger. Let me tell y'all something. If Deion Sanders was to be the coach, exactly, it makes sense that coaching staff would be in place immediately, because you bringing over Warren Sapp, you bringing over Pat Shermer, you bringing over that great, the offensive line guy, that coach guy that they got. Forgive me for not knowing his name. But Bobby, here's the thing about Deion. Deion is playing chess with everybody. At first, he said he wasn't going to coach in the league. Remember that? I'm very happy here in Colorado. Now he's saying he's going to dictate or intervene, that was his word, intervene, where his sons go, and most importantly, where they don't go. Then a couple days ago, he puts out this very pretty nugget. He says, if both of my sons get drafted by the same team, he would be interested. Now, why did he say that at first? Because he playing chess. Isn't it amazing the timing of it? You're saying that in the draft. Shadour's top pick, projected to be in the top 3 or whatever, first quarterback taken, maybe. If not, definitely the second. And then Shiloh Sanders, the safety, is projected to go maybe in the 5th, 6th round, maybe even undrafted. But if a team picks him or signs him, that ought to tell you that they're doing it for one reason only, and that is to bring Deion Sanders there. He wants to coach his sons. Cowboys wouldn't get that done unless the Cowboys are trading up, and you're not going to trade up to go get a Shadour Sanders when you just signed Dak Prescott to a $240 million deal. They married Dak Prescott. They ain't trying to marry another rookie who's going to sit on the bench. They're paying Dak $240 million. He will play. I don't care what y'all say about Dak. Dak gonna play. They paying him too much money. You're not putting $60 million on the bench, and you're not trading them because, Dak probably would lift his no trade clause. But the question is, what team is gonna take a $60 million contract, a year contract? I'm just saying. But the idea of Deion there would energize this whole place. It will be the biggest story, bigger than the Super Bowl. Because Jerry the type that he'll let that be known. We got Deion Sanders the night before the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl would have to take a back seat to the signing of Deion Sanders with the Dallas Cowboys. You know that. That's how big that would be. I don't see it happening. It won't happen. So I ain't worried about that. I understand folks saying, I understand who was that said they just saw it on Bleacher Report. Okay. I don't see it. I would love it, but I don't see it. All right. I'm going to do this real quick, and I'm going to get out the way. I hope my stuff works this week. I know y'all got a lot to say. I should have just got out the way earlier. But I had to get all that out. Now, I'm trying to tell y'all, Jerry would shock me. Jerry would shock me, y'all. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Zimmer. Matthew Collett. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be. If it's him. It's a safe hire. It's a good hire. He's solid. Head coaching experience. I wouldn't have no problem with Mike Zimmer being the head coach. I wouldn't. I'm not even mad. All right. Let me make sure I got everything right. You can call in right now. 901-654-6853 is going to be on your ticker there in just a second. You can call in right now. There it is, 901-654-6853. 901-654-6853. Tommy, I saw something that you just sent over to me, so I guess it's that article that he was talking about, to leave.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
All right. Now, first of all, I need to know, can y'all hear Talib? Talk to us, Talib.
Hey, what's going on, big time? Hopefully you can hear me pretty good.
I know I can hear you, but I got to make sure you're coming over my system. And I need everybody in the chat to tell me if you hear Talib. Talk, Talib.
Come on now. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me talk a little bit about Mike McCarthy, right? And why I agree ultimately with Mr. Jerry Jones. You know, I'm like you, big time. I've been a Cowboy fan since '78, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we haven't seen a whole lot of success since 1995, right?
Right.
The thing is, have we as a fan base forgotten about the 2023 playoff debacle and what led to only a one-year extension for 2024? Mm-hmm. After he blew that home game, right? After he blew that home game, this fan base, the narrative after that loss in the playoffs, home game, where you had already went 8-0, blowing everybody out, is that this team was not prepared to play.
Mm-hmm.
And that fell exclusively on coaching.
Exactly.
The majority of this fan base went into even before it was even decided that Jerry would even give him a one-year extension for 2024. Mm-hmm. This fan base was calling for his head then.
Yep. They were.
Right?
Yeah.
The first 3 to 4 weeks of this season, when your offense was relatively healthy, looked absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Too many times this season, we questioned his coaching, his situational football, everything that went back to 2023 and the playoff debacle.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot lose that game in 2023. Mm-hmm. You can't. After this team has not even smelled playoff success, meaning gone past the divisional round. So, McCarthy, you couldn't lose that game in 2023. So now, Jerry gives you a one-year extension, right?
Yes, sir.
The offense for the first month looks terrible.
It did. And
we have all the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry gives you the benefit of the doubt. If I'm Jerry, I'm giving you another benefit of the doubt because I haven't forgotten about 2023. Mm-hmm. I'll give you another one-year extension to see what you can do. You take it or you leave it. McCarthy left it. Mm-hmm. No problem. Because for me as a fan since 1977,
mm-hmm.
from my perspective, it wasn't what you were going to do during the regular season. You had already gone 12-5. Mm-hmm. So been there, done that. What were you going to do in 2025, this season coming up?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about you going 12-5. You've done that already. What were you going to do in 2025 in the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
If he had came back this season and he flamed out once again in the playoffs, meaning can't get past the divisional round, I think Jerry, I'm talking about this year, let's assume team healthy. He goes another 12-5. He goes another 13-4. And you flame out this year in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You one and done, or you at least don't get to the divisional round. I think Jerry would have fired him this year. He wouldn't have been back in 2025, period.
I believe.
So I think Jerry,
I believe to leave.
So from my perspective.
Go ahead.
So from my perspective, I think Jerry presented him with maybe another one-year contract, maybe 2 at the most. Mm-hmm. Giving you the benefit of the doubt that, yes, you had some injuries this year. But, man, I haven't forgotten about 2023 when you lost that home playoff game and you had this fan base was up in arms calling for your head then. Mm-hmm. McCarthy said no. Mm-hmm. I agree totally with Jerry. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have brought him back, period. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even offer them a one-year extension. Mm-hmm. I would have moved, maybe at the very least a one-year extension. Mm-hmm. Prove it to me again. Prove it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find an argument from a fan for 1977 making an argument from bringing him back on a multi-year contract, anything above 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I was the owner of this football team, based on what happened in 2023, when you blew that playoff game, and the narrative was, which has all been the narrative with Mike McCarthy since he's been here.
Yeah. Situational
football. Your team, when it's on the line, seems to not be ready to play.
Okay.
So I don't think the narrative should be that Jerry done him wrong.
No,
done
I
him
agree.
Wrong?
I agree. Right. The one he got
Not at
fired.
all.
He didn't get fired. They couldn't agree to the contract extension. With the only question you may have, okay, what did Jerry offer him? And we'll never know that because Jerry ain't gonna put it out there. He's just not. You can speculate.
I don't think Jerry.
I thought it was 2 years. Maybe that's what I thought. That's it.
I don't think Jerry even gave him 2 years.
You may be right.
We speculate here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Jerry even offered him 2 years. I think Jerry gave him another 1 year extension, giving him the benefit of the doubt for this season. Injuries, okay. Even though your offense looked like crap for the first month, we tend to forget about that. They looked like absolutely crap the first month. But I haven't forgotten about the 2023 playoff debacle, the home game that you lost. My team looked unprepared under your leadership. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt for 2024. I'm going to offer you another 1 year extension to prove to me what you got. He turned it down. I can't blame Jerry. Let's move forward.
I like it. I don't.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I totally agree.
I love it, Talik. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the opinion there. I can't argue one point on it.
Appreciate you too, man. Love your show.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Love your show, man. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye. If you can, for those that agree, y'all clap your hands for him. Chris Johnson, one of the callers, Tommy, my brother Tommy Ford. I hadn't looked at it. I just looked at the title, and you're right. So for those that have Bleacher Report, there is an article that's already out that says that Jerry made the phone call. Now, he writes that. I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody done printed it. One thing about Deion, y'all just listen to, watch Deion. Y'all watch Deion the next couple of days, because somebody gonna get to him, and just start listening how Deion talk. Deion is a master with his dealing with the press. He's been that way. He's had to do this ever since Florida State. So Deion is playing chess. And let me go ahead and just put this out here. If you really want to kind of know what's going on, there's one person that is going to kind of let you know. And that's Michael Irvin. Mike won't be able to keep this down. And Michael Irvin will be a tremendous factor in this thing. Michael Irvin comes on TV every day. And he had already said now a few months ago, he said, trust me. If Deion is offered this job, trust me, Deion will be really fighting in his soul to not take the job. Now, let's be honest, since we go on this route, Deion loves Jerry Jones. Okay?
Call from
Cowboy Marlin.
To accept, press 1. To send.
All right. Well, I got one of my best friends on here, Marlon Haynes. But before I say it, Deion loves Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones loved Deion. All right, Marlon, what's up?
Big time.
Yo.
What's going on, brother?
I'm here in the building. What's going on with you?
Oh man, not much. I enjoyed listening to your last call with Talib.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of a different viewpoint.
Okay.
I respect what he's saying, and I'm not saying that either one of you guys is wrong. But I'm looking at this from a different way.
Come on, talk.
Now, I agree the team was not prepared when they played the Packers. But were they not prepared because perhaps your defensive coordinator was distracted because he was talking to people and interviewing for other jobs while he was supposedly getting his team prepared? It was the worst performance that defense had under his regime.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not. Is that fair?
It's more than fair. It's facts. There was it's the worst defensive performance that Dan
Quinn. It was the worst defensive performance.
That is fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Okay. Now, Dak didn't play well, but sometimes the offense might take a little bit. I think if we go and take a look at that one game, which I think we got to be bigger than a particular game.
Yeah. It's the whole body of work.
This is the whole body of work, right? So I don't think that McCarthy's body of work has been bad.
No, it has
not. This is what I think. This is what I believe. And Talib, I want you to hear me on this. I think that if you take a look at the Dallas Cowboys, everybody, the players, the coaches, the trainers, the executive officers, whether it be Jerry, McClay, Steven, the secretary that answered the phone, everybody in the organization has got some part in winning. Everybody in the organization has got some part in losing. So I want to look at this in the macro, not the micro.
Mm-hmm.
The Dallas Cowboys have had 7 different head coaches since the last time they won a Super Bowl, or for that matter, made it to a conference finals. And if you want me to believe that none of these people were capable of leading their team towards success, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I think that Jerry, it's difficult for any coach to win in Dallas in the environment that Jerry set. Now, This is what I think. If you ask me, does Jerry want to win? Yes. Yes, Jerry Jones wants to win. But it's kind of like if you go to the doctor and if you go to the doctor and the doctor says, "Hey, do you want to live?" Of course, you're going to say, "Of course, I want to live." If the doctor says, "Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to live, you're going to have to stop eating so much bread and pasta, and you're going to have to lose some weight." Well, yeah, you want to live, but what it comes down to is, are you willing to do what it takes to live? That's my analogy to Cowboys. Jerry wants to win, but Jerry is not willing to do what it takes to win. Jerry is more interested in the value of the team. The team's worth $10 billion. He's more interested in whether or not Stephen A. Smith's show opens up where they're talking about the Cowboys. He's interested in clicks. And see, all these things equate to money. Jerry is a salesman. I remember when I was a little kid, my dad took me to go see the Harlem Globetrotters. I don't remember whether they won or lost. And I don't think it really mattered when I was 5 years old. It was about the show. I went to go see the Globetrotters. I suppose they won, but I don't really recall. I just know that I saw Curly Neal and they came to the Mid-South Coliseum. That's how I view Jerry. Jerry is kind of like E.T. Barnum. It's about the show. Jerry's interested in the show. And as long as he's making money, as long as you got this show, and we talking about the Cowboys, and you got Botch and all these other people, Jeff Kavanaugh and all these people, everybody talks about the Cowboys and the viewership is high and people listen. That's all he cares about, because you can sell that. Now, then if what I'm saying is true, then the fact that I don't know of any significant free agent that the Dallas Cowboys have come in and brought that has been a major player just about since T.O. Maybe there's been somebody, I might be wrong. But since Terrell Owens, have the Cowboys gone out in a competitive market and spent money to try to augment holes Or do we just say, well, we like our guys and the draft? Listen, we knew when last season ended that we lost significant personnel. It's not McCarthy's fault that Jerry made the quote during training camp, well, this year we're going to have to do more with less. Mm-hmm. That's not McCarthy's fault. If you send that man to war, give him some ammo, give him some guns, give him equipment that he can be successful. Now, I'm not saying that McCarthy's not without fault, and I don't know what the league does for a living, but if your boss expects you to perform better, but they give you less personnel, well, then what kind of deal is that?
Mm-hmm. It's not a good one at all.
Right. So I don't think that. I think that what this was all about when Jerry denied McCarthy last week the opportunity to coach. I told a friend of mine, well, if he's going to keep him, the announcement will be made during the Eagles game. Mm-hmm. And I said, I told some people when I knew that the Eagles game and there was not an announcement made, and I knew that it was basically 48 hours, they weren't going to bring McCarthy back. And I think what it came down to is Jerry was more interested in how cheap he could get McCarthy to come back for and not having to compete with other teams, which would potentially jack the price up. If New Orleans offered $10 million in a 5-year deal, Jerry didn't want to have to match that. Jerry should be interested in getting the best coach that he can get, whomever that is. If it's McCarthy, fine. Like, we could go back to last year, and I want all of your listeners to think about one thing, and this is a microcosm of where the Cowboys are. Last year, I'm not saying that Rex Ryan would have been a better defensive coordinator. I don't know. Maybe he would have been, maybe not. But I want you to realize that what it came down to, it came down to Jerry wasn't willing to pay Rex Ryan $3 million a year and pay him more money to match what he would have gotten had he stayed on television. So Jerry would rather have his second choice in coaches because he was interested in saving $3 million a year.
Wow.
And McCarthy says, I want a 3-year deal. Not McCarthy. Rex Ryan said, I want a 3-year deal because that's how much time is left on my deal with ESPN. If I leave ESPN and then come to Dallas and I'm fired after 1 year, I ain't got neither one of them. That's right. So Jerry would rather have his second choice. I'm not going to say a second-rate coach, but he preferred to have, in his mind, a lesser coach. If he wanted Rex Ryan, and Rex Ryan is like, hey, man, every defense that I've ever been involved with as a head coach or a coordinator has been a top 5 defense in the league. That's a fact. Jerry knew that. Mm-hmm. And Jerry would prefer to have somebody at a more cost-cutting type situation rather than to have his number one choice. Maybe Rex Ryan would have been better. Maybe he would have been worse. But think about what it came down to. It didn't come down to quality. It didn't come down to who was going to be the best coach. Mm-hmm. It came down to which one of them can I get for the fewest number of years for the cheapest money. Mm-hmm. That's who Jerry is right now. Mm-hmm. And until that changes, and I don't suspect it will, we're not going to win.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Strong statement there, boy. Strong statement. I believe
7 coaches, seven coaches. Bill Parcells, Chan Gay. We've had 7 different coaches, and all of them have had the same result. Yeah. So why do we want to blame McCarthy for he had the same outcome that all the other people had? Parcells can't coach either.
Exactly. Which is why I said, Marlon, I don't know how long you've been with me tonight, but that's why I said if we're really serious about winning, this next head coach may be the most critical hire we've had in a very long time. The head coach will tell me how serious next year will be. Let me just put it that way. Because there are some guys out there that will change this place. It's just depending on how bad or how desperate he really wants to win. You got to have something that's stable. You can't have no Rudy Poot, janky, new guy that's going to take over. You need a leader of men. Somebody just said, Matthew Collins just said it's the halftime show, And he said Adam Scheffler just said JJ and Deion are in talks. So
I don't believe it.
Well,
Listen, I don't believe that. And even if he does hire Deion, he wouldn't hire Deion because he thought Deion would give him the best chance to win. He would hire Deion simply because he thought he would believe that Deion Sanders would give him the best chance to sell tickets. It'd be the media circus, and it would be about all the hoopla and the attention. To some degree, and this is not a criticism of Deion, but to some degree, don't we just need a workman type coach, less circus, less hoopla? Somebody just going to bring their lunch pail and get the job done.
Yeah, and that coach would have been Vrabel. But, of course, he has New England in his heart, and there's no surprise that he went there to be home. But that's why I'm saying this next head coach will tell a lot of us, where we really are. I almost want to say direction that we're going. And keep in mind, y'all, and I'm going to say this, the Rooney Rule is in effect. And ladies and gentlemen, I see you, New Jersey. I'm going to come back to you, whoever that is calling. But Coach Marv called in too, so I'm going to go to him next. And then I'll come to you, New Jersey, to close it out, all right? All right. So I'm just saying that this next coach, we'll see how serious he is about winning. That's the only thing I'm going to say. If you give me, I can tell by the head coach. The reason I believe he wouldn't hire Deion is because I think Deion is. Well, a couple of reasons. Maybe what you said might be true, but also Deion ain't gonna come and work and be the lowest paid coach in the NFL. Oh no, you got to pay him.
Right? Yeah. So to some degree, think about it. If it came down and it was about the contract length and money, if you believe in a guy, if you believe in a guy, give him the job, give him a chance, give him the resources. To give the guy a job, and because think about it, if McCarthy only had 1 year, what kind of staff can you put together? And you're not going to get the best staff because then nobody's going to come with you because you don't have any security.
Exactly.
And then you kind of pimp it in reverse, if you would, man. You give the guy a job, and if you wind up having to fire him out the company, it's fine. You just lost money. People let go of personnel all the time, but not wanting a coach because you didn't want to give him but a 1 or a 2 year deal, you're not really serious, man.
No. I believe even if he is talking to Deion, you got to have the Rooney Rule in effect. So, I mean, hey, that's the way I look at it.
That's just all for attention. That's all attention. In the morning, that's going to be the lead story on Fox. It's going to be the lead story on every show. That's just, it's all about the clicks and the attention. That's all Jerry. But when at the end of the day, he's going to hire whoever he can get for the cheapest, shortest contract. Is going to be a coach that ain't never been a coach before. So you can push him around and tell him I want Zimmer to be your coach, and it's going to be with all these stipulations, and he ain't going to bring in anybody and empower them to do what they need to do to turn it around. It's going to be somebody weak. My guess is it'll be the boy that's at Philadelphia right now, the former offensive coordinator. I think he'll get the job. Kellen Moore will get the job. He never had a job before. He'll come to Dallas. There's familiarity, and you can tell Kellen Moore how it's going to be, and he ain't really got enough pelts on the wall to oppose that.
Yep, no doubt. Appreciate you, Martin. Thank you, man. Great points.
Great show, as always. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to call Coach Marv. He called in. It's been a while since you guys have heard his voice. I saw whoever that was from New Jersey calling in. I'm going to let you close out the show. But if you don't mind, let me call Coach in because I know he got a lot to say. And appreciate Cowboy Marlon, who's a coach in his own right as well. So I got a lot of coaches talking tonight. They'll call in Coach Marlon now. Let's see. No, Coach.
Hello.
There he is, the one and only Coach Marvin.
Man, what's going on, Big Show?
Man, I'm in the house, man. I'm just trying.
Man, well, the lines are hot, man. They're hot. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
That it's just amazing that the what the Joneses have built, that have gotten our Cowboy fans to think like.
Mm-hmm.
What sense does it make for a guy to be here 4 years and have 12-5 seasons 3 years in a row, and when you don't give him an extension, do you know something about him that you said that you don't like?
Yeah.
What sense does it make when, if you look at the amount of Pro Bowlers and All Pros, we almost lead the NFL for the 5 years he's been here?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that. We are closer to having the most Pro Bowlers and All Pros on the team than any other NFL team.
Yeah. It ain't too
and
late.
when you don't sign a guy to extension in year 4, and then he has a worse season the next year, what makes people think that you signed him to extension and give him a raise? In what other society does that happens? And if you are Mike McCarthy and you worth your salt, would you want to come back to the Dallas Cowboys?
Nope. That's why he left.
See, what people now trying to push down is being fired.
No, he wasn't fired.
And the Cowboys will always spin it, Big Show, is that we let you go, you didn't walk away from us. So they will always spin it that way.
Yeah.
They will always spin it saying that, hey, we let you go. It's not that we don't want you. You didn't walk away, or we let you go because we don't want you to walk away from us. Well, let's investigate that, because everything has context. And let's investigate it and not say we go on what they say, they keep saying, so we get brainwashed. Let's look at how it goes. Name a free agent and that's a Cowboy guy that we sign our own that ever hit the real free agent market.
In McCarthy's tenure?
Ever.
Oh, no. You say ever. Nobody. Shoot.
Jones been there. So we talk about we sign our own players, but we never let them hit the free agent market because we want to be known. The Romos, the Troy Aikmans, and maybe Emmitt Smith, but Emmitt Smith ain't had no contract. His contract was over. He did have time to negotiate. Maybe him, but everybody else, the Dak Prescott, the C.D. Lambs, the Marcus Webb, everybody was under contract with the Cowboys and could not talk to nobody else. So we never let nobody go out there and explore anybody else because we want to have the persona. We want to have the thing that says nobody leaves the Cowboys. We are privileged, and it's not a right, but it's a privilege to be a Cowboy, a coach, to work in the Cowboy organization as be a fan. But if we allow people to go out there and talk to someone else, we'll find out that other guys in other organizations got money in the NFL too, and they got a lot less to deal with, and guys may walk.
Wow.
So we don't do that. So now we get a guy, McCarthy. We already knew if you was under S, and then you said that Jones said that they like to have coaches on where their incentive plan, where they win, they get. So if you said that, you knew when you said the hay was in the barn, you had already said that you were going to sign Mike McCarthy, because if that's your philosophy, he failed it.
Yeah.
But here it is again. I would tell people this. Look at his record while he was here. This is the same Mike McCarthy that was his last 4 years at Green Bay was really horrible. But let's look at his record here when we talk about these 12-5 games. Tell me 0-1 against Kansas City, 0-2 against Baltimore. Did beat Miami while he was there. When I start naming the better teams in the league in this 5 years, the only team that we have really beat is the Eagles.
Is it?
A couple of times that was without Jalen Hurts, but the Eagles are the only team that we really dominated that had a good record. Okay, we beat the Chargers when they had one name. We beat the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start looking deep into our record, big games, how many big games have we won during this time? How many times we have looked lackluster in big games?
Mm.
But why nobody wants to look at McCarthy? Because we have the ultimate excuse that is inbred in Cowboys' minds, even with the ones that agree with Dak Prescott or the ones that hate Dak Prescott. Forget everybody else. Blame Dak.
Oh, we graded that.
We're a team that will allow a guy to be mediocre and be here for 10 years so we can still blame Dak Prescott. But here I say this again, and I'll tell people this when they're looking for a coach. Don't know no names, but this. We want to talk about the Joneses. They got this control, got that control. They got this and that. But the discipline on this team was always known to say that they couldn't play, not that they couldn't play with adversity, they couldn't handle success. Yeah. Every time they got successful, they had letdowns.
Yeah.
That's documented. They couldn't handle success. We say that they wasn't ready for the Tampa Bay game or either the Green Bay game, and we look at 2 years ago, we looked at the offensive coordinator. We blamed the offensive coordinator when they had Kellen Moore. Then we said, man, Dan Quinn with the job of the head coaches to coaches. And he felt that they were not getting ready. Mm-hmm. He should have stepped in and made sure that was happening. Mm-hmm. But we blame other people. We keep blaming here and we blame that. He had 5 years. He had more. We talk about no receivers when he had Mark Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. We still can't. We remember that year when we played at home. We lost 2 home playoff games.
Yeah.
Big Show. They ain't like we lost 2 home playoff games, and we lost 1 on the road. The first year that he said the team was not ready because they was nervous. Remember, he had Amari Cooper and a CeeDee Lamb then, and a younger Ezekiel Elliott, and a younger Tony Pollard.
Yeah. And then he
didn't win the game at home. But you know what we said? Is Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah.
So I say this, man.
Then let me butt in, Coach. Then he said against Green Bay the same exact thing. He didn't say nervous this time. He said we weren't ready to play.
We weren't ready to play. So and listen, I forgot. Against Green Bay, he is over.
Yeah. He never beat Green Bay.
Regardless who quarterback Green Bay is, he's over Green Bay. He's won 1 game against San Francisco, and that was the first year. But other than that, he had beat San Francisco number 1 time, and he just got blowed out. Most of the times, he done got blowed out by San Francisco.
He got blowed in his epic, crazy blowout losses. The Saints game this year, unbelievable. Baltimore, unbelievable. Just get ripped apart. I mean, oof.
So it's always, and if you ask McCarthy, he understands that he didn't finish the job when he's supposed to be here. But I think our fans wants to get more and more players to get all-star team. I was watching the game just now when they talked about the Rams. And they talked about the Rams, and when they talk about the Rams going out there playing with 2 rookie safeties and the youngest defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Because their people are not scared to run away from coaching.
Yeah.
They have talent and they coach them up. Yeah. We're talking about what Jerry said that this year was, yes, we're not going out and why should we have to go out there and get a whole host of bunch of free agents when I'm watching other teams like Kansas City take 2 years, the last 2 years, then I had 2 or 3 rookies in their secondary that went to a Super Bowl with rookies, not guys in first round draft picks. And they got some superstars, they got a base, but they got a lot of guys that they're coaching up to get production from. Why should I have to go out here and get 100,000 people? Because we cannot fulfill and coach our guys up. And the first thing we want to do, hey man, he's getting 5 years.
Yeah.
I've seen guys the other day that got fired after 1 year. and I don't even want to talk about what color they are. But when you give a guy him 5 years, he's at Dallas, and he had more Pro Bowlers than everybody else, he should be fired. So let's not look for an excellent old coach when we come in here. This team needs exactly what I've been saying this for the longest, what Michael Irvin said. This team needs more discipline. This team needs more direction about paying attention to details. It ain't going to be, I said this, Big Show, remember I said this at the beginning of the year. I said this season is not going to be about X's over the players. It's going to be but what's between the ear holes of these helmets. And mentally, we make excuses. We are an excuse maker. We are a pouting, young, acting football team. And this team needs a true leader of men.
There you go.
And Jerry, get you a true leader of men that gets a bona fide coaching staff in here, and you don't have to pay a bunch of free agents. But what you want is not that you don't want that. You want a Hollywood atmosphere. You made this coaching thing a Hollywood atmosphere, and you denied this man to talk to the Chicago Bears 2-3 days ago, knowing that you was going to fire him, well, knowing you was not going to resign him, so you can make it a festival to make it headline news.
Of course. As he knew it would.
And that's all it is. And we fallen into this. And we're even boosting it up by saying, okay, let's bring Deion Sanders here. This is not going to get your focus on winning. It's just going to make it more headline. And sometimes I think the Cowboy fans, we have lost we have listened to this Joneses do the same thing that our government people are doing, the head of our government. We keep saying the same stuff over and over and over again, and eventually all the Cowboy fans are starting to think just like the Joneses.
Wow.
And they got us, because they got us into entertainment base.
Wow. And
not with substance to win. We watching other teams with substance and not running away with coaching and coaching up guys and not going to get a bunch of thousands of free agents. Yes, they might get a running back, but they brought a running back. Philadelphia brought a running back in to an organization that already was leading the league in rushing.
Wow.
Baltimore brought a better running back in to a team that already ran the ball.
Yep.
So you put that in there, they go crazy. We would have brought those same people here with McCarthy, and they would not gotten the yards that they got with those other teams. Because when Henry last year in Tennessee, he barely got 1,000 yards. Barkley, for the last 2 or 3 years at New York, barely did anything. But just bringing a guy here with McCarthy and said we're going to bring a guy who's running back with a guy that doesn't have a run scheme or doesn't have the mentality to run it, it's going to be worthless. And Jerry told you what was happening. And if people didn't think Jerry didn't ask McCarthy, do you need a Derrick Henry? And when Jerry said in the middle of the season, say, well, getting Derrick Henry wasn't going to do us no good because we may not have used him like he was. And you know he got that from? He got that from McCarthy. And he said, why? Listen, think about it like this, because I'm going to let you go away. Think about this. He paid $10 million for Tony Pollard the year before.
Franchise tag. Yep.
Okay. And Tony Pollard had a better year running the ball. Better year running the ball in Tennessee this year than he had with Cowboys. But if I paid $10 million for him, right, in a franchise tag, and you underutilized him when I paid $10 million, why would I go get Derrick Henry at $7 million for you to underutilize him?
Don't make sense.
If I had a $10 million back here and I see you to underutilize him, why would I go buy somebody else for you to underutilize?
I would exactly. So you saying the same thing that I said on the previous show. Why would you bring Derrick Henry here and give him to a pass happy coach? That's what Mike McCarthy is, a pass-happy coach.
So when he asked him, what Mike McCarthy told him, say, hey, with his running back coach who don't know anything about running backs, and his running game coordinator ain't never coached that before, he told him, hey, man, bring us back Ezekiel Elliott. We'll use the guys Deuce and Rico, and we'll mix and match it. We'll let it work. We'll make it work. We don't really need nothing big there. I can make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So when it fails, know what he does? Then he start talking about, well, we need tips, and then he trying to act like he's the victim. But I hate people. I've said this before on your show, big time. Do not give sympathy to people that's playing the victim that caused the problem.
I love it.
And guess what?
I love
if he caused that problem, that's why Jerry and them say you got to go.
I love it. Coach, real quick, who is your guy?
You know something? I got a real sneaky. If Jerry wanted to do something big, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a college coach that might be worth the snagging at this particular point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And you would not believe it. I will think Kirby Smart would be in the NFL in the next 2 years, but he might be ready to be plucked now because he's not 50 years old. Where college football is turning, I'm sure he got an itch to be a pro coach. He could try it out. If it doesn't work, he still can go back to college, but he might be pluckable right now if you came to him the right way.
I love it. That's a good one. That's a good one. Kirby Smart. I like it. Would walk in the building.
What's going on with Georgia right now?
Yeah,
can't trust players.
No, because they'll leave you in a hard flash, or they'll follow the money. Wherever the biggest money is, they'll leave.
So you might well get teams where they're buying it, they're already there. And I know he has that itch to do pro, and we got to understand he's under 50. He can always go back. And he's been following Nick Saban's lead all the time. He can always go back. But I think he may find that being in Dallas is a good situation right now to be able to get where he wants to get to. But there are some other candidates. Pete Carroll would be a great choice because Pete Carroll is going to work on the mentality and the toughness. Yeah. But you're going to have to change to a tough mentality there. But these other fly-by guys as play callers that's exciting or, well, they can do so much with offense. You need a leader of men that's going to build the psyche of this team to be more mentally, physically tough. And all the other stuff will work out. But there's got to be more mentally and physically tough and have that mentality. It cannot be a softy. And listen, I want somebody who's going to fight behind doors with Jones. It's not in public. Because you don't have to be in public to fight with him. You just have to stay behind those doors and have an argument.
Yeah. When
you come out in public, act like you didn't have that. But I need somebody behind those doors that's going to fight for the goodness of winning for his team. And I believe they can. As long as Jones will get embarrassed, they'll let you have what you want.
Coach, I love it. And you
all right, and you appreciate you, man.
You always is awesome. You know you always got a place here on this show here. Love you, Coach.
All right, brother. Later.
Right. Kirby Smart would walk into the building of the Dallas Cowboys and earn instant respect. And he wouldn't be desperate because he can very well leave every college, university in this world will want him if he was made available. That means he has power. But I also like to say a leader of men, which means you would have to have a real staff with you. Because if you're not the XO guy, you got to have a staff that can get the job done. Like, if your offensive coordinator strikes fear in the defense, that's your offensive coordinator. You got a defensive coordinator that his name demands respect. That's the kind of guy you need. And then you need a flat out leader. Now, I know, there hadn't been a championship added, but Deion Sanders does check some of those boxes. If he walked into the building, those players would give him the ultimate respect. They would listen. It's no question. One thing the Deion track record shows, and Kirby Smart, since Coach brought him up, and Pete Carroll, those guys that I just called out, Pete Carroll, Kirby Smart, Deion, those guys, man. See, when you get a coach in and everybody kind of looks at him with a slight bit of reverence, and all three of those guys, even though Deion hadn't won a national championship or whatever, Pete Carroll has won a Super Bowl, Kirby Smart has won championships. All three of them have this in common. Players will run through the wall for them. That's true. Let's just say this. You may not like the name. I'm saying that you need the type. That's what I'm saying. You need the type, that type of dude. Those type of characteristics. That's what the Cowboys need. Jerry wants puppets. That's what we've seen. We don't need a puppet. I think Coach Marv just said something real smooth right there that I totally agree with. You need a guy that's gonna stand up to Jerry. Maybe in the back, like Coach Marv said. When they come back, they come out as a united front. You need somebody to stand up and look at Steven dead in his face and say, hey man, I can't win with bargain, Cracker Jack, Hungry Jack biscuit free agents. You can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. Deion and Kirby Smart would say, I won. Kirby Smart would say, I won because I got 5-star players. I got 4-star players. I got the best of the best. That's how you win. You got to have guys there. I take care of the coaching, but you got to give me some dogs. Deion would tell them that. This Sesame Street, day 9 free agents for depth. Your philosophy is wrong. You ain't won nothing since '95, so it ought to tell you enough is enough. Your philosophy is jacked up. This is how you win. This is how you turn a program around. This is how you get to the second round of the playoffs. It takes players. It takes players. You can't do that. I believe that with all my heart. A Kirby Smart would say something like that. Pete Carroll would tell you the same thing. I want guys. You know what Pete Carroll would say? You know what he would tell Will McClay? I need you to think real quick about the Seattle teams. You know what Pete Carroll would tell Will McClay? Man, look, if you bring me a guy here that don't have a high motor, that flies to the football in and on any position, don't bring him here. I don't want him. I don't want him. He don't fit my system. One thing about Seattle's guys, man, offense, aggressive, punishing running game. Defense, I ain't got to tell y'all. Y'all remember Seattle defense. Flying to the football. High motors. That's what kind of guys he likes. Don't be talking about it. You got to have finesse guys. And how's his feet move to the right when he pass block? I mean, does he have great foot placement? Pete Carroll said, dude, is he a dog? If you give me a dog, I can handle the rest. Telling y'all. See, we need to have all this in place, y'all. Because now this changes, y'all. This changes the draft now. Once I hear who the coach of the Cowboys is, I can almost kind of tell you which way we're going to draft. If it's Deion Sanders, since everybody talking about him right now, if it's Deion, what is Deion like? Now, I ain't talking about Pat Shermer, the offensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes. That's his offense. That's not Deion's offense, but it featured his son. But look what he was surrounded by. Look at all them fast guys he had. Look at the running backs Colorado had this year. Fast. So what was Deion? You got it. Fast. Speed. You understand what I'm saying? So we know his type. I appreciate you, T-Bone. Thanks for subbing. Thank you for subbing. If you haven't followed me, and for those that may be on, go ahead and hit that subscription button. What does Pete Carroll like? Tough, physical, violent, high motor guys. We done seen too many years of Seattle. We know what he like. You know you're going to be in for a rough game when you play a Pete Carroll team. It's going to be highly physical. And you got to bring your luck. You got to strap up. You got to strap it up, Doc. Because there's going to be some helmets going. Somebody finna get hit violently. If it's Kirby Smart, it's the same thing. Buckle up, buddy. Offensive line, dominant. Running back, dominant. Defense, incredibly dominant. That's Kirby Smart. That's why I'm saying, y'all, this is a very critical, and I'm closing here. I'm going to go ahead and close. I'm sorry for if I didn't get you. I'm sorry, but I've been on here 2 hours and 22 minutes. I think I did enough. We're going to talk about this a whole lot more, y'all. I mean, we got a long way to go. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry do this thing, man. Super Bowl. He going to do it sometime where he can get a chance to take over that ain't going to change about Jerry. He love headlines. Jerry will do this thing before the NFC Championship game. Jerry will do this the week of the Super Bowl. I'm serious. We got a little time. But we need to have the coach in place. We need to have the coach in place for these college games coming up. The Senior Bowl, the East-West Shrine game, the Hula Bowl. All this stuff need to be in place. How else? What is your scouting department scouting for if you don't know what the coach likes? What kind of defensive player does your defensive coordinator like? Tall cornerbacks, or does he like short, shifty quarterbacks? Does his cornerbacks have to be over 6 foot tall, or the shortest it could be is 5'10"? This is why you got to have, because the coaches have prototypes. How tall do you want your running back to be? Do you like the kid from Tennessee, Dylan Sampson, who's a little bit bigger, or do you mind Genty? A little shorter, super fast, super explosive. See, this is why the coaching staff got to be in place. We can't just be leaning on Will McClay and you get a coach in here that don't like that type. So it ain't gonna be long, y'all. I find it a little ironic. Please understand. Now, I question Jerry's ways. We ain't quite senile quite yet. I just don't think that his children agree with some of the stuff he done. Jerry knows what would shake up the world. He knows what is he's a master at big splash stuff. He's a master at headlines. He knows what he's doing. I'll say this, based off that, and Jerry has always been that way. What bigger way to put the splash all over this world by hiring Deion Sanders? It would be unbelievable in Dallas, Texas. It will be unbelievable. I'm just telling you. I personally, I ain't changing my story. I would be shocked. Because I am a firm believer that he won't hire a black man to be the coach of America's team. I just don't believe it. I know how great Deion is. But let me tell you something. If Deion come to Dallas, it would do things that Jerry don't like. Number one, you got to pay him a pretty penny to pull him out of Colorado. I'm just telling you that right now. Because Colorado is going to counter and try to offer him the world. You're going to have to pay him. I'm just telling you the truth. You're going to have to pay him. If Deion comes, you're going to have to pay him. Big. It's just the truth. Then number two, Deion ain't no guy that he's a leader, man. Jerry Jones Jerry want to be the leader. That's what I'm saying. I just can't see it, but Deion ain't fit to bow down, man. It's just not him. And I'm not, and forgive me for saying this for those that I'm saying in Boulder, Colorado, Deion is like let me put it this way. He has the whole state of Colorado in his hands. Whatever he want, he got it. He can't do no wrong in that state. He can't. He is like he go on build him the statue right now. He ain't won nothing. But you can go and put the statue up now. Put his face on the mountain like he said. I'm telling you. I hear you, Mike. I would have to see what Deion would bring to Dallas, though, before I say I'm out. I ain't going nowhere. But I understand what you're saying. It depends on who Deion brings with him as a coaching staff. That's when, after you hear this coaching staff, then you can say you're out. I'm just telling you. With Deion, all of that come with Deion. It's been that way since he was at Florida State. All of what you just saying, the circus, the headlines, all of that comes with Deion by nature. So you can't bring Deion here and think it's going to be toned down. No, sir. It's prime time. It's been that way since we known him. For all of us that grew up with Deion Sanders, there has never been a time where he was not prime time. It's just the truth. Ain't nothing gonna change. Exactly. Chris Johnson, I agree 1,000%. He said if it's Deion, he said Zimmer would likely stay. You got that right. Deion loves Mike Zimmer. Loves him. Mike Zimmer made part of what made Deion, or at least added to what Deion was. If you remember, Deion was, when he played in Dallas, Mike Zimmer was his coordinator. Exactly. He's a program to lead. He's a program builder. I mean, the characteristics are there. And as Coach Marv said, even though he ain't say this about Deion, but it is true, at least what we've seen. Deion is a leader of men that men will follow. He has enough cachet, enough respect in the NFL that if he shows up in the locker room, the men in that locker room would follow him. There's no doubt about it, y'all. I see it, but I just got this complex about Jerry Jones myself, and I just don't see it. But I don't find it ironic that on the same day he is gone, just a couple hours later, if these reports are true, Deion Sanders obviously was his first call. Now, why in the world would Adam Schefter report that? Why would all these somebody done leaked it out? And it wasn't Jerry, and it wasn't Deion. So I tell y'all to pay attention tomorrow. Pay attention tomorrow, because you know this is what they're getting ready to talk about. Pay particular to the Cowboy hater himself, Stephen A. Smith. Watch the tone change. Watch Shannon Sharp. All these guys talk to Deion. You know they don't want to see them there because they know where he goes, he's winning. They don't want to cheer for the Cowboys. Michael Irvin is really the one you better listen to because I guarantee you, I wouldn't be surprised if Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin have talked. And Michael Irvin is going to do whatever he can. Now, as far as Shador, somebody asked that, and I promise I'm gone right here because I'm tired now. Somebody said something about Shador. He said he want to coach his son. I told you Deion played chess, y'all. Deion will have you leaning one way while he doing something on the other side. The only way that will happen is if the Cowboys move up, because Shador will be gone by pick 12. They will have to move up to get Shador Sanders. And then as far as that goes, that will shake up Dak. And the Cowboys may not want to pay that gigantic contract, but y'all keep forgetting one thing. Dak would have to take off the no trade clause, which I believe he would, because I believe he would be offended that they drafted Shador Sanders anyway, if that's really what's going on. It would take a trade to move up by Dallas to get Shador. And if they draft him, then it's obvious, if it ain't already obvious by then, because a head coach would be in place by then. I'm just saying that's who the question would be, if that is the case. If that is the case, your real question would be, who would be willing to take on a quarterback that gets paid $60 million a year? What organization? I could think of one. But those guys would not be. I mean, you have to look at the top 4 teams. That's what the Cowboys will have to trade up to, from 12. And that means you're going to sacrifice a lot to move up that far, from 12 to maybe 1 or 4 or whatever. You have to give up a lot to move up that high. I don't think they would do that. And that's all depending on if you just really believe that Deion would leave and not have his sons with him. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't care what y'all say. And you'll be able to tell by the media. The Dallas Cowboys are about to take over media tomorrow and the next day. And as much as y'all don't want to say it, whatever, let me tell you something. The Dallas Cowboys still is an extremely attractive job. Don't care what you say. Y'all know it's true. It is, you get offered that job, it's kind of hard to turn down. And Jerry, I'll say this. If it really is Deion that he after, Jerry usually get what he want. Especially since it ain't no salary cap for this, for a head coach. Jerry, if he want him, he'll go get him. Just telling you. So, me personally, I don't think it is, but hey. Exactly, Chris. That's why I say if it's gonna happen quick. But Jerry gonna drag this thing out. Trust me, Jerry want to be in the TV in the morning like this. Like, watch all this. Hey, Steven, watch what all I'm saying. Look, there's gonna be flipping channels just like this. Look, see, there we go. Look. He's already talked to Deion, so he kind of got. I guarantee you, tonight before Jerry go to sleep, that's if he's not asleep, he at least knows if Deion has a slight interest. Let's put it that way. You know that. Maybe not. No. Yeah, exactly. He loves Jerry Jones. He said that, and I believe that. He's been saying that for years. He loves Jerry Jones. He loves Chris. You're absolutely right. It ain't about money. Deion got money. He loves Jerry Jones. Jerry loves him. The same way he loved Emmett. He started businesses with Emmett. With Troy Aikman lying, and he know that. Troy Aikman lying. Terry, thanks for the $2 super chat. Thank you. But the Cowboys is that. And Kid Cowboy, I'm not gonna knock you. I'm not gonna blow my whistle because you may be absolutely right too. You got a head coaching thing, you gotta. Jerry may do like he did today. He might just undercut him, knowing he wouldn't accept it. But at least you said, hey, I interviewed a black man. I did right by the Rooney Rule. It depends on how serious Jerry really is. I told you this is a critical. Okay, I got you, Chris. He says more than slightly. The report says mutual interest. I ain't gonna even knock you. This is a critical hire, y'all. Critical. You come out with some janky hire, man, you're gonna lose the fan base. You're gonna lose it. You gotta hit a home run here. Just like I told y'all about the draft, you got to hit a home run within these first 3 rounds. Well, since Mike McCarthy gone, let's go ahead and add a head coach. You got to hit a home run with this next hire. You got to hit a home run. Something that the fan base is gonna say, okay. Never, Mike. Deion, there's one thing that's something right there, Mike. It will never happen because Deion is not built like that. Now he may not never come, but he ain't no puppet. He's not built like that. He never. It's not Deion. So, again, just in case you haven't heard, Bleacher Report has put it out there. Go to Bleacher Report, go to Dallas Cowboys. I'm quite sure it's there. Tommy, my brother Tommy already, I tell you what, just in case you don't want to say it, let me get it. I'm going to put it on the Big Time Show Facebook page. I'll do that in just a second, as soon as I get off. So that way you can see it. So for those that are following me, the Big Time Show page, I'm going to put the article that Tommy, I haven't read it yet, put out here, and I'll put it there so you can see it, and you can read it for yourselves and make, whatever judgment you want to make. All right, man. I appreciate all y'all. Y'all hung out with me tough tonight, man. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, hit that like button. We're gonna talk about some things some more. I might shoot a quick video or something tomorrow. I may even come on more because for content creators, this will put us, back in business again. The Cowboys are a gift that just keeps on giving, and now the talk as we started was about Mike McCarthy. Now this thing is turning into Deion Sanders. It's just unbelievable. The Cowboys, they just keep giving. It just keep giving. It just never fails. They just keep on giving. It's that simple. All right. Until when I come on again, turn those live notifications on. That way you know when I'm on. Those of you that are on TikTok, I appreciate you guys hanging with me on TikTok, and everybody else. Chris Johnson, I apologize, sir. I didn't think it was me you were talking to. I just said I didn't believe it, but I still ain't read the article, but there's too many people saying all this is going on. But Chris Johnson, you had to, I'm quite sure I got a notification too. I just ain't looked at my phone. We probably got it at the same time. But Chris, you about to have everybody going to read it. Again, go to the Big Time Show. I'm going to put it on my page in about less than 5 minutes. It should be there. All right. Appreciate y'all. We're going to holler at you. This has been the one, and the only, the Big Time Show.